What's up, man? It's the one and only hip hop gamer.
REDinFamy.
Yo.
That shit is always like you about to spit a verse.
The only hip hop gamer.
Yo, it's the one and only hip hop gamer. Hot 97 live.
No, I didn't do that stuff just now. I said, yo, it's the one and only hip hop gamer. And then you gotta come in with the joint. I love you. Your whole everything.
I love you.
Forehead, eyebrows, everything.
You got something on your nose.
All right. Yo, what's up? It's the one and only hip hop gamer.
And your master geetress, REDinFamy.
Game of the year, baby. We here. It's that time. You know what I'm talking about.
We
2020, Game of the year. We about to talk about it. Babe, how you feeling? Matter of fact, before I tell you before we get to that. So last night, I seen REDinFamy. She was playing Last of Us 2.
Oh, the way you had started off,
You know
I don't know.
She was playing Last of Us 2. So, like, you know, the Game of the year, I know everybody want to talk about that. We ain't gonna break that down now.
Why you putting my business out there? Because everybody was asking, when you gonna play Last of Us 2? You know, it's other stuff. And there was just some discrepancies. I wanted everything to be right. I needed my setup to be correct, my TV. Because now I can say on my TV.
On her TV,
so,
that H9 Jizzy.
So I had to get the settings correctly, and I wanted the mood to be set. And I wasn't going to stream it because I didn't want anybody to be, you know, an a-hole and ruin it for me. So I did make sure I spent some quality time with The Last of Us finally.
So happy that you did.
And so far, it's all I could say is Sony. That's all I gotta say.
And speaking of Sony, 22 nominations and 3 exclusives in the Game of the Year.
3 console exclusives to be specific.
Yeah.
As far as Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about
and
that?
Second is Nintendo. I just think that the momentum has really shown coming from the beginning of PS4 to the end, like to leave your generation, to leave the 8th generation with 2 bangers, which is The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I really haven't seen that before. So, because they actually could have saved that for the PS5, to be honest.
And the way they look, you would think they was PS5 titles, like the way they look.
Especially, like, I'm just going to say from my experience, Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5, I really see the enhancement because... you know, I'm a gamer that I love to play with motion on my TV compared to others. And I would see screen tearing because of the frames being doubled. When I put it, that was on the PS4 version, PS4 Pro to be exact. When I put it on PS5, it was just so crisp and seamless that I didn't see so much artifacting and screen tear on the side of the panel. So. Yo. And
that was on the H9G. So everybody that be like, yo, I'm not getting those Hisense budget TVs. They could go head to head, and in many ways is better than the big name brand. So it's all about the technology.
This one for the price was really great. Until I want to make that leap and go for a 2.1, or if I want to go OLED in the future. But
but right now we about to talk about the best game direction. So let us know what's on the lineup for the best game direction.
All right, everybody. So best game direction, and what I love about this year is that they actually are explaining what each category actually is. Okay. So best game direction is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So the nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades.
I ain't played Hades yet, but it looked ridiculous.
I haven't played it, but I looked at it a lot. I really need that in my life. Then we have Half-Life Alyx, which is a VR game.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, The Last of Us Part 2. So, Hip Hop, what did you choose for your best game direction?
Now, it was tough. It was very, very tough because I feel like this whole year is going to be between Last of Us and Ghost. Like, that's the way I feel about it. Now, the reason why
it's difficult.
It's very difficult. Very difficult.
Because it's like depending on what you're into and what you was looking forward to as well. So to say that Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP,
yes,
and then coming off of from a title that already have a following,
yeah,
and then what you was looking forward to the second part. So
yes.
that's what you're kind of going up against.
It's tough. So it's no wrong answers here, in my opinion, when it comes with those two.
We were battling last night.
Yeah, we battling last night. Oh, we gonna battle today.
We were battling
I got the belt for a reason. We gonna battle today. We gonna talk about it when it comes to that game of the year. But in terms of best game direction,
belts can be retired.
I went with the you might be retired today.
Ooh.
You. After this, wait till y'all watch this video.
I'm a big owl.
Like, subscribe, all of that. Watch all of this because it's gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you right now, best game direction, The Last of Us Part 2. I gave it to Last of Us Part 2 in terms of best game direction, and no spoilers, but the reason why, and you will find out too. But the way this game brings you on many roller coasters, you know what I'm saying, and the way they tell the story, that's why I feel like the direction was so unexpected. I didn't think that they would utilize, Abby the way they did in this game. There's so much there that makes the game direction, it's like, yo what? Oh, and I think the game direction with Last of Us 2 provides a sense of completion in a way that I don't think anyone saw coming. And you can only figure it out until after you play the game. And that's why I feel like that gets the game direction award, in my opinion. What you think?
So you made a lot of valid points that it stands up, because from what I experienced with The Last of Us, it really feels like I'm right there experiencing as far as how everything came about. 4 years later, as well, from The Last of Us, and just seeing this new character being introduced, and what is her hate towards, I just don't want to spoil it.
No spoilers.
Just in case. But I love how the drama is very heightened in the game, and that's what's really critical as far as talent. Yeah. What I love from the different studios of Sony is because, there is always this meme about, well, you're playing a movie. But I get the action and the gameplay. Now, what I will say, I had a discrepancy with the first Last of Us. I was the one, I didn't really like the gameplay of the game, but I did love the sense of direction of the story. Okay. So in this one, the gameplay has went like through the roof for me, right? And it does feel like very dramatic. It feels like everything is intense. I don't know what's about to happen, and when it does happen, it's very brutal. Like it takes like the Walking Dead series to like a heightened cinematic level that would be on a silver screen. Now that's the Last of Us, and this is what I want to say about Ghost of Tsushima and why Ghost of Tsushima I would pick for this reason. So I love samurai stories. So Kurosawa, just seeing, the Seven Samurai, looking at movies like Yojimbo and things like that, to see that put into a video game and actually lived out, to me is phenomenal. And the reason why I'm saying this because they are the people who created Ghost of Tsushima are not Japanese. So the vision that they did a lot of research. They did a lot of historical research.
I didn't even know about the Mongols, and like they really I love deep into it.
I love historical pieces. So in the game, as far as what they shown on a historical side, of course, the fictional side to it, but putting like the spirit of Akira Kurosawa in the actual like game, the way the direction is, and of course you could put that film on there. Yeah. But it actually felt like a Kurosawa film, playing the game in the direction, the voice acting, hearing the accents. Of course they're speaking in English. Yeah. But hearing that Japanese tone. And then the Mongols
Did you play it? Did you test it out and playing the game in Japanese?
I did play it in the Kurosawa.
Listen, try it. Play it in Japanese, and also when you get to those fights where it's like doom. And it's like
it feels like, that's what I'm saying. Like I look at those movies, so if y'all ever get a chance, look at the Criterion collection of those movies where they put they remastered those old films.
That was sexy the way you said that just now. The Criterion collection.
Oh yeah, you gotta put an emphasis on that Criterion.
You did that.
I appreciate it.
We might
stop starting.
It.
So, but that's what I love. I love that direction of it. That means so much to me as a fan of the films, to see that actually implemented in a game. Not just in the cutscenes, like even just playing throughout the game, the cascading of the light that's shining like through the canopies of bamboo in the forest. There's just a lot of detail in the game. It's even like his whole armor, the people that you meet. Now, even what I love about this game, the AI people you accompany, they of course have their own characteristics and their own acting.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead.
I love that because a lot of times when you play games, and y'all know how it is, the side quests sometimes just have nothing to do with anything. You just
it's so
doing
detached.
The whole world that you play in and the other characters that you meet alongside all ties into the world.
But the acting, the direction of the acting as well too, is just like if you was in like a movie and you have to encounter these other people because you have this one goal to achieve. Yeah. And you're taking them along with you on this goal, and their people is suffering. And because their people is suffering so much because of someone that's trying to oppress them, it hits home, especially for our people. We could understand that. But like the way they brought it about as a story to play out is something that I'm like, wow, I really took heed to that. So that's why Ghost of Tsushima was my game of the year for best game direction.
Got you. So there it is. Best game direction. Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Those was our picks. And Sony, once again, man, their team is extremely talented. Now, we spoke a lot about the game direction in those particular games, but let's jump around. Let's go to fighting.
You want to go to fighting? Best fighting
Let's jump
game?
around and go to best fighting. Let's give a different feel.
All right, so I'm on the side right now on my laptop, Alienware that is.
Oh, just shout out to Alienware.
Shouts out to Alienware.
You know what I'm saying?
So let's go to the best fighting game. Yeah. So best fighting. For the best game design primarily around head-to-head combat.
Yeah.
Okay. So the nominees are Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which is a dope anime fighter. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition.
Yeah.
One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows.
Yep.
And then we have another dope anime title, Under Night in Birth X Late CL-R.
Let's get right into this, right? Okay. So, Grand Blue, I played that. It's a dope fighting game. It's dope. It's not great, in my opinion. And the only reason why is because the controls, like the combat, feel slightly stiff. I'll give you an example of what I mean. You know how like in certain fighting games, you may have a certain character that's very technical and they can feel stiff, and then you got other characters that's not, and it's a variety.
But it depends on
the whole game. To me, just the
but do
general
you play
game.
Anime fight? See, this is why I'm saying like.
Yeah, of course I play anime fighters. I've been playing anime fighters.
But this is what I have to say with that. Anime fighters are totally different from the traditional 2D, 0.5 or 3D fighters. So they play totally different. So a game like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Tekken and all, the way it's set up is totally different than an anime fighter because it's on a whole 2D playing field. The way in the I love anime fighters because of the string of combos that you could come up with.
But I love the person. But see, another thing about anime fighters that I like, that I really want more people to pay attention to, is the personality. Like the personality and the way they present. Because
they come off of anime titles.
Yeah,
so.
I love that. Just playing games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm especially. Like those games to me have a whole different level of presentation in comparison.
But I love Guilty Gear. Like
XR, crazy.
Naruto would be in some other category, but you have BlazBlue, you have Guilty Gear, Nitro
Girls.
Plus. Yeah,
Bleach.
Skull Girls. There's just so many other anime fighters, Chaos Code, and just like the Under Night game as well. So those games are to me there's so many anime fighters that's popping up. It probably should almost have its own category because it's just like how you sometimes you have to do a slash or some type of this is noted that this is going to be a melee game versus this, just like when Smash Brothers was in a category. So just to go back to the topic at hand on what's the best fighting game.
What's yours? I need to know.
It is Mortal Kombat, and the reason why Mortal Kombat is a game that keeps me wanting to keep playing it. The only gripe I have with it, NetherRealm Studios, is the updates. So a lot of times the patches will come in, it'll change, you'll nerf this, you'll learn one character, and you've been learning this character for so long, and then something changes about the character. So, but as far as with why I pick Mortal Kombat is because Mortal Kombat is the only fighting game that has really took the responsibility of having a great story.
Absolutely.
Like that's
I second that 100%.
Story. Like hands down.
And to add to that, that's my pick too. You know what I'm saying? And like the other games, you shout out to the other games, of course. But Mortal Kombat 11 is special. To me, I feel like they just give you so much. Like whether it's special guest characters that they always throw in there, seeing RoboCop versus Terminator and stuff like that. Just cool different things, things that you wouldn't expect that they throw in there. I think that's cool. The second thing, to me, I love how they always elevate their brutality. And, the X-rays you would think was the fatalities, and then when you see the fatalities, you're like, yo, Ed Boon must have had a tough childhood or something like that coming up, because like the stuff that's in his mind and that whole team, like the way they mind work is incredible.
Yeah, Ed Boon and Tobias, like over the years have really, and the whole team at NetherRealm, before it was NetherRealm,
back in the Midway days and stuff like that.
But they've done a great job. But that's what I would say. The graphics has been something. I think like with anime fighters, if they really take that anime element with the budget, because the budget is needed, and just make that like the anime is actually in the game that you're watching, and then you get to see these characters come alive, then you get more attached to these characters. Like if they come out with a really dope head-to-head My Hero Academia game, that would be dope. That would be really dope. So that's all I think they need to do with anime fighters, is really up the budget and put the anime in the game, or put like a side story that's not so canon to the anime, like what Dragon Ball FighterZ did. And it opens up a whole new world to storyline with fighting.
Yeah, because the storyline, like Mortal Kombat, like you said earlier, that's one of the reasons why this is my Fighter of the Year. Because it's not just about fighting. I want to care about the characters in the story, because that's what brings you close. And that's with anything. Like, just to go back to Sony real quick. Sony does such a great job with their IPs that they make you care about the characters in them. That's why, like, that's the most important thing. Why you think if you go to Comic-Con, and people dressing up as Kratos, like, dressing up as Nathan Drake, and not just only the main characters. You would see somebody try to be Sully, like, try to be other people. That's important. Yeah. Like, so to me, I feel like Mortal Kombat knocks it out the park.
You gotta have your icons.
And one thing about Mortal Kombat that I love is they always, when you go into the crypt, they always have like an ode to the old, the back in the day and stuff like that. Like even right now, they got the movie characters. Content has been on point. So the DLCs has been on point, like you mentioned, with the guest characters, the DLC with the skins, and bringing back the cinematic, like actors and actresses, and then bringing a sing song, getting the voice actor as far as for Spawn back. That's my guy. Yeah. So that's. Yeah, I would really. And
have to give
again, who broke that story? Who broke this? Who
broke that? Spawn and Mortal Kombat. That would be me.
Yeah, give me someone that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. All day, baby. What up?
Yeah, that would be me.
So let's move to accessibility now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's jump around to accessibility.
So accessibility is really important. I feel like since it's 2020, any and everybody, of course, should be able to play a game, no matter how limited their abilities are. So, and shout out to
Able Gamers, my boy Steve. Shout out to my other dude Steve. Tyler. I appreciate y'all as always, and I really want to highlight this like on another level with accessibility because we're starting to see more game developers prioritize it. It's still nowhere near where it needs to be, but got to start from somewhere. And just much love to them because with Able Gamers and Steve Tyler as well, they've been pushing for this, and I know
why I wanted
Able Gamers for a long time.
That's why I was like, we definitely have to talk about this. So
yeah, let's see what the nominees are.
So innovation and accessibility. So the description for this is recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So the nominees are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperdot, The Last of Us Part 2, and last but not least, Watch Dogs Legion.
The Legion.
So,
let's go.
Well,
my pick was Last of Us Part 2. Like, first off, like Steve's video inspired me like big time because the moment he saw it, he just started crying. He was like, "Yo, there's so much here." That alone, right there, I was like, "Let me just look." I was like, "Let me just look into what the actual accessibility options was." Yo, like now, I can't speak for it like how Steve can and Able Gamers can, but Steve is blind, and the fact that they have accessibility options where somebody that's blind or legally blind can see the game in its entirety is incredible. Like that alone right there just made me think like, yo, if this company can do this and more companies catch on, this is truly the way that we all can play together. Like I love it. Think about it like this, right? Imagine playing online and you can play online with people that also have those limited abilities too, because the game is designed that way where people could play the way they want to play. That is fire. Because think about it, we wasn't able to say that before. I can't sit up there and say, "Oh, I played online with Steve Tyler and Steve from Able Gamers." I can't do that.
Yeah, I just think
that's
that
crazy.
Even like children who's had some misfortunate events,
good point.
That wasn't born and whatever whatever has happened to them, and they enjoy something from before, or even adults, they enjoy something from before, but something unfortunate has happened. It's not that it's so much unfortunate, it's just a change, and it shouldn't be a change in their life entirely. It's something that they're passionate about as far as gaming. So when game developers make sure that that's important, that any and everybody's able to play the game, that is crucial.
Absolutely.
We just now, like, I mean, in the past, the only thing you had was like if you were colorblind, so now, for someone that has limited hearing or vision or may have limited abilities with their extremities, like there should always be something.
Always.
So I really want to give a shout out also in this category, Hyperdot, which is made by a Black developer. So talking about inclusivity, also to have a Black developer have a game to be nominated for a Game of the Year is very, very important. So shouts out to Charles McGregor with his game Hyperdot, which he also is a nominee in this for as far as accessibility. So a huge shout out to him, because you normally don't see that as far as a Black developer getting a game, especially an independent game, going up against these AAA titles to be nominated. So definitely shouts out to him with his game. This game is kind of difficult. I don't know if you got a chance to play Hyperdot. I was screaming. It's fun. But he was my choice because of all the different colors that's in the game and how you're able to actually play it. It is a game that anyone can actually play. Yeah. No matter what their abilities are, and no matter, of course, their vision too. So there's a lot of options that he made sure was in the game.
Amazing.
To make sure that anyone can play the game, especially for it to be an independent game, to make sure that was crucial in the game. So that was my pick.
And just before we move on to our next category, I encourage everybody, like game developers, marketers, PR people, VC, venture capitalists, like everybody champion this, please. Like seriously, because with the gaming and guidance program that I'm doing. Shout out to my boy DJ Sparks, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to B, Melissa, T, the whole family over there. When we went to Matthew's house and gave him the Xbox adapter controller and put everything together, like he was on a I forgot what they call it, but it was like a ventilator or something like that, so he could be able to speak. And he was like, this is amazing, not just for him, but for people like him. And his father, Kenny, shout out to Kenny, he said that this is like the first time his son smiled in like 2 years, that somebody would care enough to try to bring him something so he could be able to get back to gaming again. That's and I still got other stuff to bring to him and his family. So I know firsthand, like we know firsthand the impact it can have. So I'm just saying, like, encouraging y'all, make that a priority. At least think about it.
Yes.
And that's that. So, I'm about to say, you're going, best score in music. Ooh.
So, yeah, we can jump to the best score in music. And I kind of wanted to also talk about best audio design.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, of course, we could talk about what has the most polygons in the game, or how fluid it looks, and the, you know, as far as ray tracing and all this other stuff. Well, audio plays a very great point in games, even music too, to get you into, just like how you was playing God of War and you heard that those chants and like, or playing a game like Hellblade, how you heard the voices in her head and it made you feel like you was bugging out. So and even music, like one of my favorite soundtracks, I would say, is Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 2.
Baby. You already know what it is.
Like, so let's jump to this. So best score and music. So category states for outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. So the nominees are Doom Eternal.
Woo, the Doom was fire. Go ahead.
Composed by Mick Gordon. Then you have Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now let me go deep in this because there's a lot of composers. And you know I might mess up some names here and there, so forgive me.
And I love Final Fantasy.
Composed by Nobu. We just gonna say
Nobu. Shout out to Nobu in the building, no doubt.
Masashi Umazu. And like I said, I don't want to mess anybody's name up. Suzuki, I know that name, okay?
Yeah.
So Suzuki, there's a lot of different composers, but Final Fantasy VII, I know, Final Fantasy games, period, I know is dear to a lot of people's heart. But some people just play Final Fantasy on Spotify. Shouts out to Tanya, because she said she just plays Final Fantasy on Spotify.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, I know you still got more nominees to go through, so I'll let you go.
Let me finish
first,
nominees. Here we go. This our game awards would be different. Hades, composed by Darken Korb, if I'm saying that name correct. Ori and the Will of the Wisp, composed by Gareth Coker. And The Last of Us Part 2, composed by Gustavo Santaolalla. Additional music by Matt Quayle, if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah, like what would you say?
Now this is tough, man. Best score in music. This is tough. Very tough. Now
Doom Eternal is fire. I watched you play. I didn't get a chance to play that.
The best score in music. This is really tough. But the reason why in this category I'll give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm gonna tell you why. So, no spoilers, but I played this game back in 1997. You know what I'm saying? So, playing a remake, they took that music and made it modern, but they still kept what made it special.
Oh, that's
they
important.
did it in such a great way.
That's important.
So, because you gotta remember, back in the day, playing Final Fantasy VII, you didn't hear no voices. You know what I'm saying? You just had to read the text.
So the audio was very important.
So the audio played a bigger role even back then. So now when you hear the voices and you hear the emotion and you hear the pain and you hear all these other things with the music, it hits home harder.
Okay.
And to me, I gotta give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake, because there's parts in that game that when you hear certain songs and then you see what happened and you feel the way they felt, it is the perfect Marriage. You know what? All right. So I'm gonna hook y'all up. So there's a movie called Brown Sugar, right? So Brown Sugar, with Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan, they said he said to her in the movie that she was the perfect verse over a tight beat. Mm-hmm. And the way I feel about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and sitting here next to you, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying. Okay. It's like I feel like Final Fantasy VII and the way they scored it was a perfect verse over a tight beat. Facts.
Well, that solidified it right there. The only games that I would say that I got a chance to hear, Ori Will and the Wisp, I would say has a really cool soundtrack. I didn't get a chance to play Hades, so I'm not sure. I did hear Doom. Doom has like that death metal music a lot of times.
Yo, if you never paid attention to like any type of like hard metal, like rock music, if you wasn't into that, because like I like all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like Aerosmith.
If it's dope, to this
then day. Music is music. If it's dope, it's dope. But when you playing Doom, listen. I gotta put
that was gonna be my choice was Doom.
Oh, for real? Okay, and I can see why. So Doom is one of those games where you don't care. Like you just want to shoot, and you need the right music for that running gun action.
Because if it wasn't that, DMX probably should be in a Doom.
DMX should be in Doom.
DMX should be in a
Doom.
DMX should Onyx be in Doom. Or something.
DMX, Onyx, let's keep it real. Cypress Hill, I will put all of them in Doom as well. If you want a
hip hop type, like I need to.
I'm gonna tell you the perfect song for Doom. If you a hip hop head, the perfect song for Doom is "Stop Being Greedy." DMX.
Oh, yeah. It's very dark. It's very
dark. You've been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Bam. Like what? Yo, you know what? I'm done.
Go drop the
I'm
belt.
done. I'm done. I don't even know what else to say. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII for me. But Doom for you.
Doom for me.
And that's perfect.
All right. So going more into audio, the best audio design. Okay. So recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. I know who I picked. Who did you pick?
See, all right.
I forgot the nominees. So we have Doom Eternal. We have Half-Life Alyx. We have Ghost of Tsushima. I said Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Resident Evil 3. And then, of course, The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, so, and this was best audio design,
best
right?
Best audio design.
Okay.
I know who I picked.
All right. This is another one that was tough because Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us
has some, like, hearing the weapons and then the wind blowing, the hearing actually bamboo hit against each other. Like, there's a lot of detail in the design.
Yeah, and Resident Evil, I'm scared of the scary games, you know what I'm saying? So like that joint always get me shook.
And in Doom, hearing all the demons that you're fighting, and the explosions. I didn't play Half-Life Alyx, so I'm not too sure about that. Right. But I'm pretty sure it's warranted to be a nominee.
Right.
I got a chance to see you play Resident Evil 3. Yeah. Of course, similar audio, but my pick was The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, and you know what? We share the same pick. Last of Us 2. The audio design in Last of Us 2 is very, very intricate. And when I mean intricate, it's like, you know what it's like? So anybody, if you're not familiar with how like games are developed and like game design from that level, so in game development, right, you can actually take the sound and place it in different like areas, and that's why when Mark Cerny was talking about the 3D audio, how important it was, because you want to make sure you have the proper locality of sound, and it's not just where it's at, but how far it is, how in depth it is, like the way they capture it. And
this was before toting about 3D audio.
Yeah, this was before that. So for them to exactly. So to me, Naughty Dog, just their skill set in game development. What they did with this game, and I'm talking about everything in unison, from when you step on snow to the sound of the zombies and where they're coming from to
the clickers, to the zombies, to the actual living humans. Yeah. The gun.
The music, like the way it.
The music. like playing the guitar. Like it was just so many different things that I was taking notice to the design. Yeah. And I was like, wow. Now I was playing with my headphones and I was playing on the TV too. But I just seen the level of detail with the audio. And to do that as a game developer should, of course, be awarded. So,
and another thing that adds to that, why I give it to them as well, is the main characters, right? Even their breathing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they can just go through something. Put like this. When I was watching REDinFamy play, it's like that. She said SHIT, right? And then as soon as she said it, the character said it in the game. That lets you know the feeling, the connection.
Because that's how I felt when I was running away from these freaking people,
so,
zombies. So
yeah, it's that crazy. So I think when it comes to the audio,
All right, so we are going to move on to best performance. Speaking of how the actors and actresses were. So best performance awarded to an individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance captured. So the nominees are Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey as Abby in The Last of Us 2. We got 2 Last of Us.
Crazy.
Daisuke, I'm sorry. So Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai in Ghost of Tsushima. He did a hell of a job.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades, and Najee Jeter as Miles Morales in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I have my pick, and I will say why.
All right, cool. So for me, this was really tough, especially when it comes to The Last of Us, because they both did great. Now, Jin Sakai,
he did a great job.
Yo, he killed it. Like, he really killed it. Miles Morales killed it. Now,
who's your pick though? You gotta pick.
I know.
This ain't a 3-hour show.
So my pick, because this is tough.
I got my pick, and I know why.
But the reason I'm going with this one, because I feel like this was the most challenging one to pull off because of the person that did it. So
you gonna say what I say?
I'm gonna say what you say. Yeah. I'm going with Miles. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with Miles Morales. Is Najee? What's his last name?
Najee Jeter.
Najee Jeter. Because like for me,
I'm gonna cut it.
You go first.
All right. So the reason why I'm picking Najee Jeter is because you have a grown man that has to play the voice of a teenager. And his voice is not normally like this, but he has really mastered the way of that crackling teenage boy voice.
Yeah.
So to project that, and he's played Miles, you might as well say for years, because he has done Miles Morales on TV shows.
Yeah.
He's done Miles Morales in the video games now. So he's been doing it for years, and he's coined as Miles Morales, period now. I hope he can even play it in a movie, if so. But he's really mastered how to do that crackling, the changing of the voice to be a grown man and do that.
He knows how to bring puberty back.
Yeah, there we go. He brought puberty back in his voice. So that's why I would say Najee Jeter, he did a hell of a job. He's also a voice actor that we've seen in the first Last of Us. He was one of the... he was a little boy. That to me was the saddest part in the first Last of Us, was that scene. So,
crazy.
So yeah, I would say Najee Jeter, you are my pick for the voice actor of the year. Your performance in Miles Morales from both games and even things I've seen outside of the game, you do a phenomenal job of mastering how to put puberty back into your voice.
I know, right?
Like changing. So
and then I just want to add to to how great he was. So when you think about him swinging and all of the voices that he had to do, and then like no spoilers, but like even tricking his voice, his natural voice as Miles in the game
so he
to try to trick, so he could sound older and. He did a great job. To me, I feel like to have that level of being a chameleon with your voice and doing it in all those areas, and the role to me is the most important role because you're playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So you already know how sensitive like anybody that's a comic book
to
head,
me,
a Marvel head, you gotta do that. You gotta do that right. You can't mess that up.
To me, out of all,
it had the most pressure.
Out of all the nominees, it would have been between actually Logan and Najee, because they had to do something out of the norm that has nothing to do with something that could have been so normal.
Right.
Because I mean, even with Daisuke, his heritage, you know what I'm saying? So, and then with Laura Ashley, something that they've been projecting for years with different pivotal female roles. Yeah. Something that can sometimes come as natural. So I would say the reason why is because out of Logan and Najee, they, to me, had a lot of pressure on their roles.
Nah, absolutely. So I know we're getting closer to that moment. You know what I'm saying? I know we're getting closer to that moment.
Is there anything else you wanted to tack on? Are you good?
To be honest,
best action adventure. You good?
You know what? Let's do this. Let's do best action adventure. Let's do that. And
there's nothing else. You good?
Then after that, we could go to sports and racing.
No indies, no love. I gotta do it indie.
Oh, we gotta. Yeah. We could do it indie.
All right.
And then it's gonna be that time. So after the indie, we're gonna go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Go to that game of the year, because we gotta have that moment.
All right, so
it's we're like going that. So we're going to best action adventure. Let's go to best action adventure.
It is. Okay.
Yep. And then after that, the sports, then the indie, then the game of the year. Let's go. Action. Yeah. You go down. Action adventure. Let's go.
So best action / adventure. For best action adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, something you hate.
Oh yeah, I can't stand puzzles. I can't stand puzzles.
The nominees are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima is in every damn category. Yeah. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2.
All right. This right here is gonna be crazy, but let's get right to it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So my first pick for this was Spider-Man. That was the one I was gonna go with. Best action adventure.
You changed it.
But I changed my pick to Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh.
The reason why I changed my pick is because Ghost of Tsushima, I was just able to get more. So Miles Morales and stuff like that, incredible game. But the thing is,
it's not a full on game.
It's like, it was so good that I wanted more, but I understood what it was going in.
Okay.
But I wanted more. So it's not so much that one is better than the other, and the other, like, they both too great. You can't go wrong. But Ghost of Tsushima gave me more, and not only that, no spoilers, the culture of Tsushima and what Jin Sakai did in the way it unfolds. That right there is, I think, one of the most, put like this, one of the most important scenes of gaming this year came from Ghost of Tsushima. One of the most important scenes.
Really? Even over your Last of Us Part 2? You gonna say even one of the most important
scenes? I said one of the most important scenes.
He said, get it straight. I said one of. Okay.
Yeah, one of. I ain't say the one.
I know, but you haven't said that for the Last of Us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The one of. Last of Us has it. But one of the most important scenes in gaming this year came from Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. So in this particular category, I gave it to Ghost.
Gave it to Ghost. Wow. Okay. Yes. So as you know, Ghost of Tsushima has been. I've been trying to be balanced with it because it's just too much. I actually gave it to Miles Morales because of that action. It's more fast paced.
Yeah.
As far as like an adventure game. As far as the nominees on here, Jedi Fallen Order was really good too.
Really good. Yeah.
I haven't played Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Game is crazy.
Yo, you gotta ad lib for everyone.
My bad. I'm sorry. I play that game a lot, man.
What pillow? By myself. And then Ori and Will of the Wisp is a really cool game too, but as far as like an action adventure game, I don't know if I would put that in the category. So yeah, I gave it to Miles Morales because it gives me that fast pace. It makes me feel like I am a superhero, continuing the momentum from Spider-Man off of the last generation. And the way Miles, like the way you play as, it feels like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Like he swings totally different than Peter Parker. So like that's what gave it to me. I understood all the points you made on.
Yeah, and I understand your points too.
And so yeah, for me it was Miles Morales.
Yeah, I respect it.
So we go into the indie.
No, we gotta go to sports and racing, and then the indie, and then the game of the year.
Sports and racing is. I love my sports games, but I'm just saying. All right, so best sports and racing for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. You have Dirt 5.
Fire. If you love Drive Club and MotorStorm, you gonna love Dirt 5. Sorry, let me finish. My bad. Go ahead. I just had to throw that in there.
Dirt 5 from Codemasters, which is from the Cheshire. What is it? The Cheshire. That's a tongue twister for me. Division. Then you have F120 from Codemasters, the Birmingham division. They got a lot of different ones in the UK. Then you have FIFA 21, EA Vancouver, NBA 2K21, Visual Concepts, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 from Vicarious Visions.
NBA 2K21 it is! Next generation.
The next generation
game is
one.
Unbelievable.
The next gen one.
The next gen. Yeah.
They need to put next gen.
Yeah. The next gen one.
Just keeping it 100.
I'm gonna tell you right now, right off the bat, the graphics, the physics, the feel. This is next gen for real. Look, like it's too much. They even went from a neighborhood to a city. I still gotta dive into that because I'm about to complete my career on the new joint. But just playing the game itself. Yo, there was a time where I was playing with my boy DJ Sparks, and he was Shaq, and like we had switched off, so he was Shaq and I was Penny Hardaway and stuff like that, and he backed me down, but he backed me down like how a Shaq should knock a Penny Hardaway out the way. It was real. And then with the dual sense, and you feel the trigger, the adaptive trigger.
So yeah. Well, he's talking about PS5.
Yeah, the PS5 one. Yeah, but it's unbelievable.
That's not how it feels on the
Xbox.
Series X.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
No shade. It's just that's
just
not
keep
there.
It real.
But you didn't want to put, because you said so much about Dirt 5.
Dirt 5 is amazing, but no. Like 2K.
As a game you always go to for sports. Now, what about the remake of Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk is classic. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta remember, it's one of those. It's not like it's a brand new game built from the ground up to take advantage of the PlayStation 5.
That's why I said 2K21 next gen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That experience is second to none. You know what I'm saying?
So, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, 2K21, that game is truly built from the ground up. And yeah, so let's go to the indies.
Let's go to the indies real quick.
Yep. And then after that, we got the game of the year. Let's go. Alright, best indie.
So best indie for outstanding creative and technical achievement in game in a game made outside the traditional publisher system.
Okay.
So the nominees are, is it Carrion or Carrion? It's gonna be Carrion.
Yeah.
Made by Phobia Game Studio. Publisher is Devolver. Shouts out to Devolver crew. They make some dope indie games. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout from Mediatonic, also published by Devolver. Then you have Hades by The Supergiant Games. They're a phenomenal indie studio. You have Spelunky 2 by Mossmouth. And then you have Spiritfarer, if I'm saying that correctly, by Thunder Lotus Games. So who did you pick for best indie game?
So to me, this was a tough one because between Fall Guys and Hades, because I played Fall Guys, I didn't play Hades, but from what I saw of all the titles, I know about Spelunky, that's dope too. But from what I saw in all the titles,
Carrion was pretty dope, like a horror type.
But as for me, it was a toss up between Hades and Fall Guys. Now Hades looked crazy. I like the top down, I like the style, I like all of that. But the fun in Fall Guys.
The fun and the horror.
Yeah, the fun in Fall Guys is next level. The amount of content that has, and more will be created with Fall Guys is literally second to none.
Rage.
Shout out to Big Cheese, because he makes me laugh like crazy. That's my guy when I watch him play Fall Guys. But to me, the reason why I give it to Fall Guys overall, it has this joy that you can't put a price tag on.
Yeah, so
it has this next
ever
level.
since so I got a chance to actually speak to developers at the last big event, PAX East. And I was just so intrigued by like the game. Like I was so, shouts out to Tinsley PR. They was like, yo, you gotta go see this game. It's called Fall Guys. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? I'm gonna be falling? And they really took time to explain the game. I got to see kids have fun with the game.
Yeah.
And then I got to see adults have fun with the game. And people like were there every single day at the booth. And to see how it came alive and became this big phenomenon was crazy as a new title. And then to have that opportunity to be a PlayStation Plus title.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of people got a chance to play. And it just became this 1 million+ players on a game, like a new game like that.
Crazy.
So
I can't wait to see what they do next.
It's really fun. It's a really simple... It's going to make you rage and smile at the same time. But Fall Guys is that game, and I think it should be given a lot of awards.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They did a great job.
100%. That joint's fire. So now
we get
it's
into
time. Now it's time. Now it's time.
You got to hit the thighs.
Now it's
You
time.
got to hit the thighs. So, get...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You said hit
Game
the thighs. So but go ahead.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
For 2020. Game of the year. These collabs. Game of the year for 2020. Now, this is very important because the past Game of the Years, I was looking at a lot of people sideways.
Yeah.
All right, so now there's an explanation for every category, okay? Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields, okay? That's what is the definitive of Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay? So, the nominees are Doom Eternal.
Incredible.
By ID Software, id Software, Bethesda. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Square Enix. Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Hades by Super Giant Games.
Salute.
Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo.
Over 25 million sold. Crazy.
The Last of Us Part 2, Naughty Dog.
Let's go.
Sony
Time for that
Entertainment.
talk.
Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Sony again.
So, Sony has 3 console exclusive nominations. 3 console nominations.
I don't even... honestly, because y'all know I love my, cheat codes, right? So,
And
Sony
Nintendo has 2 console nominations on here, which is Hades and Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Sony is a cheat code themselves, man.
So Sony has 3 and Nintendo has 2.
Sony is a cheat code to me, man. Sony is LeBron James and AD all rolled into one. Like right now, I'm telling you, it's not fair.
So let's talk about these nominations as far as Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Having they have a lot of nominations this year.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to play Doom Eternal a lot.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they deserve this to be a nominee?
Absolutely. The only thing to me that holds Doom back from winning Game of the Year is the fact that the main character now known as the Doom guy and stuff like that. But I don't like when the main character don't have a voice. It takes away from the experience, in my opinion. To me, I feel like
like how Link to this day.
Yeah,
at least Mario said.
Yeah,
something.
Mario said something.
Sonic had a voice. Became.
I don't like that. So to me, I feel like Doom falls short of winning it because of that. That's one, and 2, the action and everything is incredible, but the action is more like just random fighting. And to me, I feel like that's great for what it is, but you have to have a sense of cleverness, a sense of
something.
Yeah,
there has to be
it can't just
more
be
layers
like
to the
boom,
cake.
boom, 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 and that's it. It's like from start to finish.
So pretty much as a pound cake is not a layered cake.
Yeah, it's like from start to finish, it's pretty much the same
it.
experience.
Got you.
And it's not a bad thing. It works for them, but not Game of the Year level.
So what about Final Fantasy VII? Of course, you've been playing Final Fantasy since you was a kid.
Yeah, I ended it too. I ended Doom Eternal. I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake. So with Final Fantasy VII Remake, to me,
which they did a hell of a job as a remake. So
yeah, it's incredible. But see, because they talk about the technical field and everything like that, what the best in technical,
that was holding it back.
Yeah, so that's what another thing that's holding it back. Because remember, even though it's a remake and it looks so different and stuff like that, there's still signs and hints of old and stuff like that from back in the day.
Purpose, or was
they probably did it on purpose to.
Because that's what we hear from Demon Souls. Like, we wanted to keep this nostalgic thing for the past.
But with them keeping that, it prevents from achieving that particular award based on the criteria.
Now I have so Hip Hop and I was going back and forth last night because I feel that Ghost of Tsushima graphically looks better than The Last of Us as far as what I've seen with the player models. The player models look photorealistic, and I know The Last of Us do have this this certain art style to the realism of The Last of Us. So that's why I gave the edge to Ghost of Tsushima because it's just so crisp compared to The Last of Us. I do of course see realism, but there's always this little artistic film over the characters, and but the environment looks different from the characters. The environment looks better than the characters. So that's what I was saying. But what holds Ghost of Tsushima not to be your game of the year? I'm sorry, I just spoiled it. It's not his game of the year. So what holds it back from it not being your game of the year?
Yeah, so just obviously Last of Us 2 is my game of the year. Ghost of Tsushima, you can't go wrong. Like, if you chose that, I see why too. I ended both games. Ghost of Tsushima, and maybe this is because there's the Last of Us 1, so the continuation plays a role in that. But Last of Us 2...
This is a new IP.
Yeah, it's a new IP. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Straight up. The Last of Us 2, their combat, there's no game, not even the Great God of War, there's no game that handles combat like Last of Us 2 does, because they handle it in a cinematic way. I give you an example of what I mean.
I agree.
When you look at certain cutscenes in games, in any game, there's certain things that happen in those cutscenes that you never get a chance to experience in game.
Oh, you're now saying that, because I'm not going to break it up.
So, in Last of Us 2, there's a part, like there's plenty of parts, but there's parts where, let's say you shot somebody in the face. In gameplay, when you pull the trigger and play the game, not a cutscene, I'm talking about in moving gameplay. You could shoot them in the face. You see where the bullet went. The blood starts to drip. Like, everything is crazy. And then not only that is when you hold the gun up to them, the character be like, no, you don't have to do this. Like, please. And then you can do it anyway. And it is the most realistic, engaging moment in gameplay that you would have that you normally only got from watching in cinematic experiences.
So what didn't you feel from Ghost of Tsushima that did things like that?
Ghost of Tsushima did not have it like that. I give you an example of what I mean.
But do you okay, so there's always this, a lot of people don't understand samurai swordplay, the art of a samurai and how they actually fought. It's not just like some ninjas going off with a katana. Like, it's not like that. There's an art to their actual battle. They are a certain way. They have different styles. That's why I love in Ghost of Tsushima, they had all the different styles to go up against different enemies.
I love that.
And there's different, like...
Yeah, you got this, you can move like that.
It's different ones, right? And they all do different things on how you
with special powers as well.
Exactly, with special, like, powers and attributes or abilities. Now, when you hear the cling, or even, for example, when you want to go up against, you want to do, like, a standoff. You get that samurai standoff in the game with a
and it's like,
and you pause. You know what I'm saying? You pause with it.
Yeah.
And then whoever falls, that was the curtains for them.
And to me, I feel like
I had loved that.
I love that, and I love the sound. I love the movement. I love how you gotta pay attention to
their
foot.
Because you can hear the slicing. Of the enemies.
So now the difference between Ghost and Last of Us when it comes to something like that, when you do those things, the actual impact that should happen, they don't have in the game.
So you're talking about with Ghost of Tsushima?
With Ghost of Tsushima,
because
that's
what
not
I
present.
will agree with
That's not present in the game.
It's like playing The Last of Us. When I hit someone with a pipe, it felt like I hit them with a pipe, and it sounded like I hit them with a pipe.
It sounded like it. It felt like it in the results.
Even compared to the crowbar, because it's in one scene with Abby.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So like one scene where...
It's the way you did it. Cause you made hold on. She was like this. This was. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that was perfect. Go ahead.
You know, one of the scenes with Abby, I'm not gonna say so much, but what there was a chance where you could pick up a pipe from a crowbar, and they felt different. And I'm not talking. Of course, there's no DualSense controls as far as it being with the game yet, but it felt two different things. You know, as with that. So I will. And the as far as what you're picking out from, like the detail.
The detail and the results.
I do get that.
Yeah, because like I give you an example. You shoot somebody in the face.
But that's not the only thing you're saying.
That's not the only thing. It's more. There's more.
Because according to the description,
the best
experience across all creatives
and all technical fields. So now here's the next thing I'm gonna say. So when it comes to the gameplay portion and the combat portion, Last of Us is the only game that I've seen go the distance over any other game I've ever played. Like period. From like for example, let's say you need a weapon. She can grab you see how you have the wall
she took it off
the wall and then started using it.
Yeah.
Like what? All the games do that. And then the way the level is designed, you can run and go under a car, slide through here, go to the side, go over. Like there's so many other. You ever play games where you look at it and you wish you could do something and you can't do it because it's not in the game?
Because Ghost of Tsushima only does that one time when you actually go underneath the huts.
Yeah, but that's a static thing across the game.
Yeah, it goes into a first person view, but I never seen that before because it's a third person view game.
Yeah.
So when you go into underneath the hut, it goes into a good first person view.
Yeah.
So that would be dope if they even added a first person view in the game because it looked like it was supposed to be in the game.
Absolutely.
It didn't look like it was so much tacked on.
Absolutely. So to me, like at the highest level, and then when I told you before about when you pull the gun up and the way they react to it, it gives you this sense of control, this sense of satisfaction, this sense of completion that this is real and you're in it. No other game do that. And then from the graphical standpoint, I know we are different. Like both games look amazing. Like I said, you can't go wrong. But to me,
I just feel that Ghost of Tsushima has more of a polished, photorealistic look.
And to me, I feel like Last of Us 2 looks more like a real person. There's more facial animation. There's more, like even in the bone structure, there's more bone structure detail in Last of Us 2. There's and then there's more LODs. Like the level of detail in The Last of Us 2, from when you're walking down, controlling the character, from the damage that happens because there's different layers in the LODs that makes the game the game.
I only see that in the cutscenes. I don't really see that in the in-game play. I only see that in the cutscenes. I personally do not see that on the character models in-game when I'm playing. And I did it on purpose. I took pictures of Ellie and everything. Compared to when I'm looking at the different characters in Ghost of Tsushima, that's because they use actual, like, the actors, too. Their faces, like it looked exactly like them and their facial movements or however the mocap design was compared to, for example, Abby and Ellie do not look like real people compared to some of the other people that was modeled. Like there was one scene where Abby and the guy she was talking about, forgot his name, and he got pregnant or whatever. And he looked realer than she didn't look like a real person. She looked like somebody that was created, like just made up. She didn't look like a real person to me. So that's like, I don't know who she's modeled after, but she just didn't look like a real person to me compared to when I'm in Ghost of Tsushima. These are the actors and actresses' faces being used. So there's a lot of reference to be used for it to make it more realistic.
So the last point that I would make from a graphical standpoint and a technical standpoint when it comes to that is when you look at cutscene or no cutscene or transitional, when you like on the horse and everything like that, here's what I will tell you. When you on the horse and it's snowing, the snow is on the book bag. Every move you make, snow flurries is falling off the horse and everything. Everything look real. When you look at the assets in the environment, they got PlayStation 3s and everything, furniture. Like this don't look over colorful. Like it has a dullness and a more realistic, lifelike look to it. That's what Last of Us looks like. Like, yo, it's crazy. Each hair strand, when you look at Abby's hair.
So the hair strands in Ghost of Tsushima was not realistic, right?
No, not
even like the straw, for example, like the straw hats.
Yeah, it looks like a great game. It looks like a great game, but it doesn't look like.
So even like the
real hair with fuzz.
Even like with the straw.
I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, look, there's fuzz right here. Like the little strands. That's Last of Us right there. That's not Ghost of Tsushima.
But even like the straw hat scene. The level of detail each one of the straw hat Ronin, because they're not samurai because they don't have a lord. But like, so each one of the Ronin of the straw hats, did you see the detail of each straw hat in the game?
Of course I ended it, baby. I've seen every.
But you didn't play it on. Wait a minute.
I go crazy on graphics.
Okay, don't say what you was about to say.
Yeah, but on my TV, you already know it's next level.
But listen, I played it on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I got to play it on the PS5. I'm continuing it on the PS5.
Yeah.
I seen a huge difference of detail.
Yeah, I've watched you, baby.
But you not paying attention to the straw hat. That's what, even when I went against the main straw hat dude. Did you see that? Did you see when they was in the water? I saw the fight because
you kept dying and you was getting tight.
First of all, I'm gonna need you. First of all, you keep dying in Demon Souls. And I kept dying because I don't have it on easy.
Oh, yeah, well, you need to put it on easy, then you won't die as much.
I don't put my games on easy if not need to be.
Okay,
so
cool.
That's why, and I won, didn't I?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, that's good.
But you struggling to be on easy eventually.
I wasn't struggling anything. I went through that game.
Yeah, because it's on easy. You put it on super easy. You
I
did
put it on whatever,
easy and he put it on super
well,
easy.
whatever it is. But
anyway, I played it on the normal way the developer wanted me to play it on.
So we spoke about the graphics. So now we have our stance on graphics. We would like to hear y'all in the comment section. What's your thoughts on the graphics between Last of Us 2 versus Ghost of Tsushima? We spoke about the gameplay, and the final reason though why I would give Game of the Year to Last of Us 2 overall. No spoilers, but they did things in every area of a game at the highest level to me that I never seen before, like in a game period. I'm talking about certain chase scenes, the way they do certain combat, the commentary, when not just in cutscene. I'm talking about when you actually play the game, the commentary from everybody involved, then the combination of the clickers and the walkers, the contrast between Ellie and Abby throughout the entire game. That's why I can't wait for you to play it.
Playing it.
And
he's doing a lot of.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I'm gonna get
I'm
you
trying
back.
to. And then finally, when y'all get to the end of this game, once again, it's the perfect verse over a tight beat. Because the realization of everything and how they bring it together at the very end of the game made me say, wow, I had no clue that they was going this route. You know how you say, like, you could see something and you already know what it's going to be? Because you spoke about that in Last of Us 1. You said it was very cliche. I don't think you're going to have that issue in my opinion.
I mean, I said that already. I said that, you know, me playing The Last of Us Part 2, the gameplay, like I said, that the story direction, it was cliche on how it was, but the way they went, the objective was cliche. And I figured that out off of a trailer before the game came out. But as far as how it was narrated, they did a great job. Now in this one, the way they're narrating this one is off the hook because it's tying in two different like sections or whatever. But for how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima, the way that it was executed could have been done really wrong to say that it's from a Western game developer compared to an Eastern game developer and something that's so historic. And they did a great job with it. As far as like how the different characters, I love how when you're trying to recruit everyone, which can be cliche. We've seen this in a lot of different RPGs and things like that. But in Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of times you just want to just go through the land. Like, that's how beautiful the game is that there's been so many photo opportunities that I've seen in that game and have seen from fans just posting the photo mode. You know, of course, we've seen Uncharted is the one who sparked like photo mode, like phenomenon. But a lot of people post so many different photos from Ghost of Tsushima to craft it in their very own, because that game is just very beautiful like that. And so on a graphical standpoint, I feel like it has an edge over The Last of Us. I know the detail that he's saying, but the crisp on-site photorealism of Ghost of Tsushima, I feel, is A1. The voice acting in Ghost of Tsushima is very believable. Like, it doesn't feel flawed or made up. And of course, I didn't put it in Japanese.
Oh, baby,
but
you wait till you do that.
To have it in English with an accent, and the accent doesn't feel like I'm making up the accent. It feels genuine. It means a lot. Like, especially for a fan that loves Japanese movies or Japanese actors or American Japanese actors and actresses. I love the voice acting and the actors and actresses that are in this game. They made it very believable. That was one of the things, for example, like Sleeping Dogs. I remember when Sleeping Dogs was first out, they had these white actors, and we all was like, what? Yeah, dude, we're gonna come out and I was like, that don't sound like a triad. Yeah, like what are we doing? And people complain, not people from that heritage. Everyone complained, like, this doesn't sound nor look right. Can you make it authentic? Yeah. And they went to go and hire Chinese actors and actresses, and it made it authentic. And I'm glad that they did that, and I'm glad they did it with this project as well, especially since it's a Western company making a historical Eastern type of game. So I just love how authentic the game is and how it felt in the direction of the story too. So that's why it's my game of the year by far. But I do see why The Last of Us is very hard between the two. Yeah, but I do see why The Last of Us, because it brings so much, and it kind of ties a lot of loose ends from the first one. I see why.
Yeah, so that's it. So what y'all think of, Game of the Year? What do y'all feel is y'all Game of the Year?
We gotta give a shout out to Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing did their thing.
Over 25 million sold.
It came out in the right time. It was like the #1 game when we all went into quarantine. People who weren't even Animal Crossing fans or even play Animal Crossing became Animal Crossing fans. People developed shows, talk shows on there. Like sitcoms on there, like they've done so much. So shouts out to Animal Crossing as especially notable. I think that that's going to be in a lot of people's Game of the Year. So
now we said what our Game of the Year was, but do you really believe that Ghost of Tsushima will actually win December 10th? No. You think it's going to get it? Because currently right now, if I'm not mistaken, Last of Us 2 is ahead.
Well, it's just like how this country's ran. You have the popular vote, and then you have the electoral vote. So the popular vote right now is that The Last of Us is in the lead, but you do have the board of who actually votes for Game of the Year, and I guess they put all that in consideration. Yeah. But the reason why, so The Last of Us, a lot of people was complaining about The Last of Us or whatever controversies. Yeah. I personally don't know them because I wanted to not be in the know of the game. So that can hit them a bit. Yeah. And then Ghost of Tsushima can be on top a bit because of that. So
I get that too.
And Ghost of Tsushima was a game that I was surprised that a lot of people actually went to go pick up and play, because according to certain people in their playstyle, I was like, oh, you playing Ghost of Tsushima? Like, compared to The Last of Us as being that parading type of title. So I don't know. I think it's going to be very close between Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us. Like I said, it was Sony's last two heavy hitters of the 8th generation closing out. And they actually could have saved that for PlayStation 5, and they didn't, which makes it very scary on what's going to happen this generation with PlayStation 5. So
I don't even want to think about Ghost of Tsushima 2. Built from the ground up. We're not having that conversation. That's it. I'm scared.
I
don't even want to do that. Like, it's too much for them right now. You know what I'm saying? It's too much for them.
Rift apart.
GT7 dropping. It's too much stuff. So, but yo, on that note,
Forbidden West.
Oh, that's another one. God Stop it. You know what I'm saying? So, but
that
babe,
was known, huh?
December 10th, the Game Awards.
December 10th, the Game Awards.
Going down.
Can't wait.
Make sure y'all check it out. Tune in. And
everybody, just for the salty ones, because you got people in the gaming community, they get so salty when their game doesn't win Game of the Year. This is not the only Game Awards. There's BAFTA, there's DICE, there's so many other Game Awards out there that people just ring up as far as with announcements and awards. So if your game doesn't win Game of the Year, just make sure you look at the other Game Awards. They're very notable as well too, and to pay attention and support. And
go vote. Make your voice heard, you know what I'm saying, with the Game Awards.
Oh, so yeah, we're in the third round now.
Yeah, so make sure you make your voice heard. On that note, one love and God bless. It's the one and only hip-hop gamer, Hot 97 Logitech G.
This is why I couldn't say REDinFamy, because he just had to say sponsors. You know, after he said, Hot 90, you didn't have to say Hot 97 yet.
Okay.
Just say hip-hop gamer.
Okay.
And I could say REDinFamy. I wasn't even gonna say Master Geektrix. I was just gonna say REDinFamy, but you just had to pull out. I wasn't gonna say REDinFamy, Alienware, GeekGameTyte. I wasn't gonna do all of that.
But you just did. And that's how we gonna end it right there. One love and God bless. And we out of here, baby. Peace. That was perfect, son. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yo, I know that was long.
I'm leaving that part in too.
Yeah, I know that was long. I didn't realize it was going to go a loop.